Good morning, everyone. So glad to be here again for another session. So I will just quickly run through the plan for today. Okay, so I believe we've all registered, at least those of us here. We have registered and we've done a bit of networking. We will quickly now progress this. In view of time, we have so many things packed for us for today. So the agenda is as follows, and I believe it's being projected, yeah? So the first thing will be some form of NAPE-centric things, and by that I mean recognition of our dignitaries and speakers and all that, both online and in person. That will be done by the president-elect. That will be followed closely by the welcome address by our president and the introduction of the chairman. I'm going into the depth of why we are here. Will be done, the introduction of the chairman will be done by our president-elect. He would introduce the chairman. The chairman will then come in and introduce our speaker. The presentation will then commence. Afterwards, we would have Q&A session that will be coordinated here by the chairman, and the publicity secretary would, that's me, would coordinate the questions I receive from online. Okay, so, but before that, there will be a form of summary from the chairman, and then when we get to that, it will play itself out. We'll also have sponsors' remarks. Afterwards, we will go into some form of celebration. So we have some celebrations that will be rolling out today. Birthday celebration for our 002 and a fellow as well. That will be followed by announcements. Oh no, before then, we'll have an announcement by me, and then celebration of the fellows will come in as the birthday, and a vote of thanks by president-elect and launch and further networking. So that's how the day we run. We are all used to it, I believe. We will just start now. Thank you, PE. I give the mic back to you.
Yeah, thank you, PS, for the announcement. Yeah, so customarily, before we start, we normally would introduce the presenter and the chairman, okay? So I want to use this opportunity to call on the presenter for today to come up before I recognize those present. So Mr. Busari, Mumini, please. I want to also call the chairman for today, Dr. Wilson Osung, please. Can you come up? So I want to use this opportunity to recognize our fellows and past presidents here present. Those here, we have Mr. Isaac Odadere. If you're here, please, can you, fellow FNAPE? Welcome, sir. We also have Mr. Christopher Enuma, FNAPE, here present. Thank you, sir. We have Mr. Alex Taka, FNAPE, the one-time president of this association. Please, a round of applause for him, please. We also have Chief Chambers Oyubo. You will hear when the PS said 002. And also, unfortunately, fortunately celebrating his birthday today. Welcome, sir. Fellow FNAPE, a past president of this association. Welcome, sir. Also, I want to welcome the president, although I've already done that initially, but I need to do it again because she's also a fellow, Mrs. Olajumoke Ajayi. Welcome, Madam President. We also have amongst us Mr. Karim Folorunshaw, fellow FNAPE, please. Karim used to be the coordinator of Benin chapter. He did wonderfully well while in Benin. Thank you very much, sir, for all you do for FNAPE. Also, I want to recognize those online. We have online Mr. Wale Oyetoron. He's online. Please, a round of applause for him. I can see Mr. KK Kanu walking. Please, a round of applause for Mr. KK. He's also a fellow of FNAPE. And then a couple of our friends who are here, who have traveled from far and wide to be part of us here. I want to recognize the person of Mr. Edward Oza. Is he present here? Please say hi to the house. Welcome, Edward, and a couple of others too. So thank you very much. I want to quickly read the citation of the chairman so that we can, go down straight to the business of the day. The chairman of this occasion, Dr. Wilson Osung, holds a BSc in geology from UNICA, MSc in sedimentary petroleum geology, and PhD in sedimentary petroleum geology from Federal University of Technology, Owerri. He began his professional career in IDSL, United Geophysical Nigeria Limited joint venture, Warri, as a youth corp member serving in Delta. Dr. Wilson Edet Osung is an assistant director training in Petroleum Engineering and Geosciences Department of PTI, Warri. His research interest spans all sequence stratigraphic, reservoir characterization, biostratigraphy, clastic depositional systems, hydrocarbon prospectivity, and structural geology, and thus authored several research articles in reputable and international journals and local journals, as well as conference technical papers. He successfully co-authored books in stratigraphy and sedimentology and structural geology. He's a COMEC certified geoscientist, a fellow of the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists. He's a fellow of FNAPE, then a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants, a member of the Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society, and then a COMEC registered certified geoscientist. Some of his fun times are watching and playing football, socializing and engaging in community works. He's happily married to Mrs. Gloria Dumebi Osung, a passionate educationist. I understand she has a school in Warri. And then they are blessed with children. So, Mr. Chairman, without wasting our time, can I call on you to come and introduce the speaker, and then we kick off for the day. Chairman, sir. Okay, so sorry. Chairman, just hold on. Before I am pulled out of this exalted President is laughing. Before I'm pulled out from here, please, Madam President, please, your speech. I am very sorry. This is above my pay grade. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
I can understand. We are running out of time, so I see why you did that. I know it was an oversight. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Both our members in here and those online. Thank you once again for joining our June technical meeting. It's always a pleasure to have all of you. Without you, there can't be any technical meeting. And without you, those sponsoring us would show the willingness to sponsor our technical meeting. Thank you very much for joining. I'm Chief Oyibo, 002, second member of this great association. So you can imagine how long he has been here. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for coming, and thanks for your support all the time, and all other fellows here and all those who are online. We appreciate you all. and all members of this great association and our friends from other associations who join us from time to time. I thank our sponsors, Total. This is not the first time you'll be sponsoring our technical meetings. You sponsor technical meetings, you sponsor our conferences, activities. You've supported us in several ways over the years. Thank you for taking up this again today. We appreciate you, and we believe that the speaker whom you have released to talk to us today will do justice to the topic. This topic has to do with the deep water. You agree with me that the most difficult geology in our space is deep water geology. And deep water is remains one of the world's most prolific hydrocarbon environment. So for us to be able to take advantage of what we have in there, we need to understand how to explore and do it well. Deep water drilling, day rates, I think is $1 million or a little over $1 million per day. Just day rates for rig. So you can imagine, before you go in there to drill, you must be certain of where you are going so that it won't be a failed drilling. Total, thank you for doing this for us today. And Dr. Olarewaju Mumini, thank you for taking time to come and share your wealth of experience to the association. Thank you very much. Dr. Wilson, you know, he's not based here in Lagos, but he's here to chair today's meeting at his own expense. Thank you for coming. Your love for this association is greatly appreciated. Thank you. And I want us all to sit back, listen, ask questions, put down as much as you can. Even if you go for a training, you know, 5 days training, usually the type of data they use and all that is not really original, but you are hearing from somebody who has the practical experience. It's worth more than you can think of. And also you are getting it for free. So please, let's stay attentive, write questions down, ask questions, and network as much as you can. Once again, thank you to everyone and our sponsors for taking up this deadline today. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Once again, apologies. So, Chairman, please, you might have to come and introduce the speaker before we start. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam President, the ESCO members here present, and all distinguished fellows, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm actually honored to chair this technical meeting for the month of June here in Lagos. And I have the honor to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Mumini Olarewaju Busari. Dr. Mumini Olarewaju Busari received a BSc Honors 1998 in Geology from the University of Ilorin, a DIC and MSc 2006 in Petroleum Geoscience from Imperial College London, and a PhD in 2025 in Geology from the University of Ilorin. He worked as a regional synthesis geologist at the Total E&P Nigeria from 2006 to 2011, exploration geologist at Total E&P Nigeria from 2011 to 2014, a regional synthesis geologist at Total SA France from 2014 to 2016, an exploration geologist at Total E&P Nigeria from 2016 to 2020, a reservoir geologist at Total Energies E&P Nigeria from 2020 to 2021, and a senior reservoir geologist at Total Energies E&P Nigeria from 2021 to 2023. He was appointed as Geosciences 2G Manager at Total Energies in 2023, and currently works as the Manager Geosciences 2G and Ikike Development Total Energies Nigeria. He received University of Ilorin Departmental Prize for 1996-1997 session and ExxonMobil International Postgraduate Scholarship in 2005. He is a COMEX certified geoscientist, a member of Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society, NMGS, the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists, FNAPE, and the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, AAPG. His research interests include seismic geomorphology, sequence stratigraphy, reservoir characterization, and modeling. Dr. Mumini Busari is married with children, enjoys traveling to new places, watching football, and following local and international politics. Ladies and gentlemen, we have before you Dr. Olarewaju Mumini Busari. You have the mic there, right?
Okay.
So now, yes, I'll leave you and go.
Okay, thank you. Good morning again, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can we have the first slide? So, as Mr. Chairman has said, the title of my presentation is Geomorphology and Evolution of a Pleistocene Submarine Channel-levee Complex in Deepwater, Nigeria. Implication for robust reservoir modeling and development strategy. The paper I'm about to present today is actually one of the product of a larger research that spanned between 3 and 4 years, in which we look at several turbiditic deposits, channels, lobes in near surface environments. Why? Because we leverage on the high frequency content and high resolution that we see in 3D seismic at near surface. So we look at more than 14 turbidity channels across the Niger Delta, and the intent of our study is to understand the geomorphology evolution of these channels using integrated seismic stratigraphic and seismic geomorphology approach in order to leverage on the information from this near surface channel when looking at deeply buried channels where the quality of seismic data is not as good as what we have in near surface. In addition to this, we generated a database of architectural element dimension, which we measure for several channels, and this can be used to parameterize our reservoir modeling when modeling a deeply buried reservoir where there is scanty or poor quality seismic. Why? Our interest in this research is because, one, geomorphology and internal architecture of deepwater deposits are usually controlled by a mixture of factors such as change in relative sea level, the rate and type of sediment supplied to the basin, and the basin geomorphology. Secondly, this interaction of several factors results in reservoirs that are complex internally, and the cost of production of this reservoir, as already mentioned by the president, is in billions of dollars. Hence, we need to really understand these reservoirs properly to be able to model them properly and to be able to develop them effectively. Because of that, we look at the north-south erosive, constructive channel-levee complex in Deepwater, Nigeria, using integrated seismic stratigraphy and seismic geomorphology method to enhance actual element delineation and to be able to produce robust reservoir modeling. So for today's talk, I will follow this outline. I will introduce you to our study location and the data set that we use for our study. I will summarize the geologic setting in which we carry out our study. I will introduce you to our integrated seismic stratigraphy and methodology and geomorphology used for our study. Then I will present and discuss results of the application of this methodology to the channel in question, which I call Channel A. Then I will discuss the impact of this study on reservoir modeling and development strategy. Then I will conclude by summarizing our findings. So the channel in question is located in Deepwater, Nigeria, the eastern part of it. And for this study, we made use of two essential seismic data. One of them is this outline in blue, which covers about 430 square kilometers with sampling rates of about 3 meters. and the dominant frequency of about 52 Hz, while average resolution is about 9 meters. The second data is a semi-regional mesh data, which is the bigger size data, which covers about 1,040 square kilometers with sampling rate of about 4 meters, dominant frequency of 45 Hz, and average resolution of about 12 meters. In addition to this seismic data, we made use of well data like gamma ray log, core data, and data from a public source. In terms of geologic setting, we all know that Niger Delta has been partitioned lithostratigraphically to 3 main stratigraphic formations. The first being the Akata Basin, that's essentially marine shale. This is overlaid diachronically by the Paralic Agbada Formation, consists of intercalated sand and shale, where most of our hydrocarbon pools are resident. And this is overlaid, again, diachronically by the Benin Formation, which is essentially continental sand with fresh water. If we take a line of section from north to south in Niger Delta, we'll see on this section the 3 main structural domains that we have in Niger Delta. To the north is the extensional domain characterized by listrict growth faults. And to the extreme south is the outer computational domain characterized by toe thrusting, while in the middle, we have the transitional domain characterized by shale diaper and shale ridges and associated, crustal collapse faults. Our subject today, is in Pleistocene and is located within the transitional domain. Methodology. For our integrated seismic stratigraphic and seismic geomorphology method, we started by mapping around the subject of interest. We map horizons at the top and at the base, sometimes in the middle, and we generate layer attribute maps, the different ones, starting with coherency, RMS, spectral decomposition, and a whole lot of them. And we do this iteratively until we are satisfied we have the number of layers that will enable us to understand the evolution of these deposits. After that, we go ahead and delineate the actual element within this deposit using both seismic sections and attribute maps simultaneously, which means we are looking at a particular actual element. We make sure what we are seeing on section is the same with what we are seeing on map. When we did that, we went ahead to parameterize our actual element by taking measurement of dimensions of different actual elements within our deposit. After that, because the advantage of looking at near surface subjects is the quality of our seismic, but the drawback is the fact that at that depth, no companies acquire log data or core data. So we leverage on analogous seismic fishi and outcrop information to calibrate the sediment field of our subjects. And after that, we now go into detailed interpretation of the geomorphologic evolution of our subject. On top of that, we propose the sediment field of our terra element based on the calibration we did earlier. And after that, we are in position to come up with evolutionary history of our deposits. And using that information, we are in good position to delineate the actual elements in a 3D model and use that as the basis for our fishy modeling, petrophysical modeling, and all other things afterward. So applying this to our channel A, which is essentially a north-south erosive constructive channel-levee complex, as seen on this map. If we take a line of section, east-west line, across this channel, this is our channel A here, and we have some other channel which we've also studied, the channel B, channel C. I want you to pay attention to this other channel, the channel 1D, which is relatively deeper than our subject. We map the seabed horizon here, and we map another horizon called horizon 2, which is at the base of a regionally extensive, transparent, seismic signature, which essentially represents the end of a sequence at the beginning of another sequence. And we'll delineate, we'll layer this interval into 4 different layers called layer 1 of 4, layer 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and layer 4 of 4. This map you are seeing here is actually a coherency map of layer 2 of 4. Then after that, we generated several attribute maps. For instance, this is coherency, this is RMS, this is spectral proportion. Sometimes we co-render attributes. Like in this case, we co-render coherency and spectral decomposition just to enhance sedimentary features that we are able to see. After that, we now go into applying our integrated seismic stratigraphy and geomorphology into each of the identified actual elements within the deposit. For instance, we use our seismic stratigraphy interpretation, that is, we interpret the termination pattern that we see on our seismic section. We interpret the seismic phase shift that we see on the seismic section in terms of the continuity of our reflector, the amplitude of our reflector, the frequency of our reflector. On top, and that on the maps, we interpret the paleogeomorphology that we can see, and we make sure that we are in sync between what we map on section and what we map on map. And for instance, in this case, we interpret high amplitude, laterally stacked high angle reflector as lateral accretion package after Abreu et al. 2023. We see concave upward high amplitude that eventually went into low amplitude concave to horizontal. We interpret them as vertically stacked channel, and we can see the vertical stacking also on the map. In the case of labs, we can see the lateral accretion here, which is similar to what we call a point bar in fluvial setting. We have this transparent, well-shaped architecture that is thinning away from the channel margin, and we interpret this as our outer levee. We have this packet of high amplitude reflector that are rotated at the edge of our channel complex, and we see on map the scallop wall, which shows that what we have is the sliding of pile of sediment along the channel complex margin. And also, we see this chaotic, almost diagnostic seismic event, which interpreted as MTC. After doing this, we progress and look for how to calibrate the sedimentary field of our major architectural element. This is our lateral accretion package. Luckily for us, Abreu et al. 2003 carried out similar work on a channel-levee complex in Girassol field in Angola. And the good thing about their homework is that their own channel is deeply buried, so they have well information that calibrate. And you can see the signature of the lateral accretion package. You can see our own. Of course, we are shallower buried, we have a more beautiful image, but we are sync. You see the map of our own lab, and you can see the map. You can see the accretion. You can see it, and you can see it here. On top of that, Abreu et al. Were able to get core information which we calibrate. So we see from both log and core information that we have fine and tiny upward sequence. You also have opportunity of looking at outcrop information from the Tabernacle Basin in Spain, where they map a lab and they have the same fine and tiny upward sequence. So we know that what we see, our lab sequence, seismic data we see is massive sand at the beginning. As you go up, you have intercalated shale, and at the very top, you graduate into shaly package. We did the same thing for our vertically stacked channels. And in this case, we leverage on a deeply buried vertically stacked channel deeply below our own channel. So when I was talking about the quality of seismic at near surface, this seismic and this seismic are the same. But because this is deeply buried, we see what's happened to the quality of seismic data. So we leverage on the well information there, and we're able to calibrate the sediment field that we expect in our vertically stacked channels. We did the same thing for other major actual elements. We take a line of section through our channel here. Here we see our outer levee on the left and the right of the channel. We take another section and we see our signature, chaotic seismic signature representing our mass transport complex. You remember I told you to pay attention to our channel 1D. Luckily for us, channel 1D was penetrated by a well that was drilled to produce a deeper subject in this area. And from here, we're able to calibrate, our outer levee, our chaotic MTC, and our hemipelagic drip around our channel. To even give us more comfort, on our seismic section, the same section that I showed you earlier, across our channel here, we see around the base of the channel here, we see glide tracks and outer runners, which are indication that debris flows have really passed through this place. So when we see MTC in this place, we are certain that what we are looking at are actually MTC. After that, we went ahead and took measurement of the dimensions of the different actual elements in channel A, such as the channel width, the channel height, the incision depth of the channel into the substrate, the levee height, levee width. We also take measurement of the unitary channel within the channel complex. So we know the width of our unitary channel, and we also know the sinuosity of our unitary channel. We did this measurement at different depths along our channel, and what we have is a table like this. We have documented dimension of actual element within this channel with people who are working in a deeper, a deeper depth, where the seismic is not so good to take measurement. They can leverage on this if you are looking at similar, object as source to parameterize your reservoir model. After that, we are now in the position to clearly define the main features of channel A. And we took 3 lines of sections to do this, section A, B, and C. On section A, we are able to delineate our lateral and vertically stacked channel, our outer levee, as I saw, the erosive nature of our channel. You can see the base level, the seabed before the arrival of our channel was this, and the channel was able to erode all this way into the substrate, and we're also able to delineate, the hemipelagic drips around our channel. On the next one, we're able to identify clearly our slide and slope channel, and we see the various avulsion episodes that affected our channel, which is pretty like, okay, our channel has gone through several avulsion history, which complicate the history of our channel and effectively the internal architecture of our channel. And there is nowhere this is demonstrated by what we see here. All this represents a avulsion history of the channel complex. And using the calibration that we did earlier, we are in position, to propose sedimentary fill for our channel complex. After that, we now look in detail at the evolution of our channel, both temporally and vertically. We use several line of sections to look at the history of our channels as it evolved in time and in space. And this I've illustrated here with the several line of sections that were taken, so many of them that are perpendicular to our channel complex axis. And with this, we combine with our attribute maps, we map at every stage the evolution of our channel. And we can see that our channel has evolved from a V-shaped channel to a U-shaped channel, from a symmetric channel to an asymmetric channel. And we also notice in particular the change in depth of incision of our channel, as you see, from the north to the south. In order to probe further what was responsible for this change in incision depth, we use our semi-regional data to take a transect, a line of section in north-south direction within the channel complex itself. And we see that in terms of the depth of erosion into the substrate, we can partition our channel into 3 different segments. The segment A, between the northern head of our study area to this fault F1, the section B from the fault to what looks like the top of this deeply buried thrust, and the section C to the end of the section. To understand how this depth of incision has evolved, we generated isopac map or thickness map between the seabed and our horizon 2. And when we see change in thickness from here, it's thinning, the package is thinning all the way. We saw that the increase in incision depth, and from here we start to regain our thickness again. We saw some sort of reduction in incision depth, and from here we reduce greatly our thickness. We saw increase in incision depth. And looking at the first section, this is first segment, which is segment A. I want you to pay attention to these two layers, what you call HL1, HL2, which are hemipelagic layer 1 and 2, which are below the channel. We see that from the north up to the end of segment A, we see increase in incision depth as the channel, just like in fluvial system, the channel will also want to find its equilibrium base level. So as it's trying to find equilibrium base level, it erodes into the substrate up to this point. But by the time we look at the section 2, we see that the H1 that we've lost completely towards the end of segment 1, we recover the H1 back in segment 2, which means there's a reduction in incision depth because the system is readjusting again to equilibrium base level as a function of what is ahead of it, which is what we see in section 3. We see this positive physiography at the seabed as a sort of this deeply buried thrusting that resulted into structuration of fold that created positive seabed, and that was what the channel complex was reacting to. So to summarize what we see a system where the incision depth is increasing, and because the system wants to adjust to what looks like a drag as there is a sagging, too fast. Because the system was reacting to what looked like a sagging, as sort of the fold that was induced by this deeply buried truss, then it reduces incision into the substrate. And here, in order to overcome the positive topography that was created by this folding here, it has to increase again incision depth. In a work that was done by myself and Professor Adeke in 2024, we actually explained how channel complexes react to obstacles on their way. Is either they avoid the obstacle, or they go through the obstacle, or they stop at the obstacle, depending on the power of the flow and depending on the kind of obstacle. So in this case, our channel complex decided to erode the obstacle in order to maintain its equilibrium base level. And we see clearly the impact of that change in base level in this image, that so that various of our channel arterial element dimensions actually change around the end of what we call our segment A, which is in response to the, so we see how the basin physiography that was conditioned by the deeply buried thrusting system influenced the geomorphology of our channel complex and consequently the internal morphology of the channel. At this point, we believe we are able to now propose the evolution of our channel complex, which we propose in 5 stages. The stage 1, we call it the channel erosion stage, that was characterized by sediment bypass, erosion, and the sliding and sloping. And this is where you form what we can call your container. The stage 2 was characterized by channel meander loops and lateral migration of channel, because at this time, there was no constraint to the channel. So each succeeding active channel was able to migrate within the channel complex without hindrance. So there is minimum sweep. You have more of swing of your individual channels. And this is the point where you deposited your lateral accretional package. Then at stage 3, at this stage, you start to develop more of your internal levee, and you start to constrain your channel. So you move from completely lateral stack channel to lateral and vertically stacked channel. So you can say your channel is diagonally stacked. And at stage 4, where you completely constrain your channel to the last phase of the channel, your channel have no other place to go than to stack vertically. So stage 4 comprises of vertically stacked channel, and we believe that at this stage, we develop more of our outer levee, because it's at this point the turbidity flow is high enough to overflow the margin of the channel complex. And eventually, at the last stage, we drape our channel complex with hemipelagic drip. And that is the end of the story of this. So based on what we know, we now try to apply this to reservoir modeling. By doing this, we refine our layering, we generate attribute maps, we map the actual element within our complex to as much detail as the data will allow us, and we translate this into actual element delineation in a 3D seismic model. And based on that, we are able to go ahead with our phase shift modeling. And as we all know, this is a summary of the process. And here is our AE delineation, which is the building block for our actual element delineation in our 3D model, which is the building block for our phase shift model, which in turn is the building block for our petrol model. We know that if we get our AE delineation wrong, then our phase shift model will have a K-leg. And if our phase shift model is wrong, then our petrophysical propagation will have K-leg. So the AE delineation, ability to properly delete AE, is at the core of having robust reservoir modeling. In terms of how this impacts development strategy, we assume an hypothetical case where we want to develop our basal labs with three wells, 2 oil producer, P1 and P2, and 1 water injector. Based on what we know, the low heterogeneity along the channel axis between water injector and the producer 1 is such that it can result in efficient sweep and further sweep of more continuous and vertically connected sand-rich facies and bypass oil in embedded heterolytic facies. And this can also lead to fast water cuts. You are like in express between your injector and producer. So before you know it, you cut water. Why? In the case of W1 and P2, because of the likely presence of inter-channel shales, which are the remnants of the internal levee of the individual channel that were removed during your lateral stacking, but not completely removed, you are likely to have what? A sweep across channels from margin to margin. The area integrated by the interchannel minor shales may produce a more even front for sweeping, for hydrocarbon sweep, but of course, it can have negative impact on pressure supports. So the message here is that when you understand the detailed internal complexity of your reservoir, you're in position to determine the type of well, the number of well, and how best to position your well to make sure you maximize your production and you delay water cut as much as possible. In summary, the geomorphology and internal architecture of the Pleistocene conserved channel-levee complex was studied using integrated seismic stratigraphy and geomorphology method. The variation in initial depth of the channel complex and thus its geomorphology along the depth was shaped by deep-seated truss-related structuration. The evolution of the channel was explained in 5 stages. I will not go over that again. And the importance of detailed delineation in building a framework for reservoir modeling was clearly illustrated. And finally, stratigraphic complexities, that's a lateral and vertical heterogeneity, which have impact on development strategy, are best captured through detailed mapping and the relation of architectural elements. So I want to thank Total Energies for providing data and tool for this study. I also want to thank my Oga who signed up for my PhD program when I started and signed off on me having the access to the data. So I want to say thank you to FNAPE for giving me the opportunity to present one of the products of our research. Thank you.
That was a nice one. So, Mr. Chairman, you can come back. So while the chairman is walking up, we had some people walking, and some are also online. I would like to recognize them at this point. For our executive committee members online, we have Mr. Fatumbi, he's the UAPC chair. Please, a round of applause for him. We also have those online, Dr. Adekunle Sofolobo. He's the editor-in-chief. Dr. Christopher Jackson, he's the general secretary. Please keep clapping. And then Mr. Ibrahim Dong, he's the assistant editor-in-chief. Those present here, of course, we know our president is here. The PS is here. The FS is here. That is Abidemi Bergori, is the financial secretary. The public secretary is Somime, and then my humble self. Some of the fellows that came in while the presentation was going on, we had Mr. Ehi Bazwaye walking. Is he still around? Because he said he was going to shuttle between where he was and here. So we also had Mr. Abiodun Ogunjobi walking. Please, can you stand for recognition, sir? Thank you very much. Thank you. Then we also have amongst us Mascot, Mr. Mascot Ogunjomiwo. Thank you very much for coming. These are all fellows of FNAPE. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, please.
Thank you very much, my president-elect. I think Dr. Olarewaju, Mumini, Busari, you've done a good job. You've really broadened our understanding of the complexities of deepwater geomorphology. He started this presentation by looking at, briefly, he was looking at the literature review, highlighting the importance of understanding geomorphologies and internal architectures of submarine channels to build a robust reservoir models and optimal development strategies. I think he did that very well. He went further to discuss briefly the Nile Delta stratigraphic and structural configuration and help us to understand that the study area falls within the transitional structural domain, where fold and anticline are actually the main features within a particular bracket. The methodology he employed was the integrated seismic stratigraphy and seismic geomorphology methods, leading to an enhanced understanding of the architectural elements, the channel evolution, and robust reservoir modeling. The channel A, which is actually the case study area, where the channel we are looking at, was layered by using combined seismic profiles and attribute maps. He went further to help us to understand that seismically mappable architectural elements, that seismic fascies, were based on terminations, were based on patterns, amplitudes, continuity, and frequency. He identified 8 fascies in the study area, and some of them were calibrated with other basins in Angola and also in Spain, while some others were also calibrated with the gamma ray log from wells in adjacent channels. The channel parameter, according to Dr. Olarewaju, were measured on cross-section and plan forms, adopting Sprague et al. 2002 channel hierarchy for this particular study. The main geomorphologic and internal architectural features of the study area of the study channels were carefully mapped and delineated. The sedimentary fields were interpreted using calibrated reflectors, amplitude, reflector shapes, and internal architectural. The internal architectures were also delineated on the attributes maps. Based on the observed changes that he said in the incision depths into the underlying substrate, he was able to subdivide channel A into 3 segments, segment A, B, and C, where erosion, sagging, and folding takes place respectively. The evolution history of channel A was summarized in 5 stages, reflecting the complex geomorphology and internal architecture. He explains further that the importance of delineated architectural elements as the building blocks for reservoir modeling and eventual development strategy. He concluded his presentation by stating, amongst other things, that stratigraphic complexities which have impacts on development strategy are best captured through detailed mapping and delineation of architectural elements. I think Dr. Busari has actually done a very good job, and if you ask me my own opinion, the aim that he seemed he sought to achieve was well achieved, and the structural controls, particularly the deep-seated thrusting, significantly influenced the morphology and the positional architecture of the system. And going further, he gave us he helped to evaluate the spatial and temporal evolution of the Channel-levee. Ladies and gentlemen, I think at this juncture, Dr. Busari deserves a resounding round of applause. Thank you very much. I think right now we can open the floor for questions. And I think Busari is here to give us answers. And if he doesn't have the answer, one of his guys here has the answer.
Yes, so we have two persons here, one on this side. So raise your hands, please, and then the mic will be given to you. So one on this side and the other side. Who will exchange them?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Idowolane Julius from NUPRC. Thank you, Dr. Busari, for the detailed presentation. Sir, from your presentation, you made mention Channel-levee complex at 61 to 94 meter depth. So I want to ask, did the seismic vertical resolution limit your ability to map the levee thickness, and at what high resolution data did you use? Thank you.
On one of the slides, I think I present to you the resolution of the seismic that we use. The high qualities 3D that we use that focus on the subject actually has a resolution of about 9 meters. And 9 meters for me is very high. And with that, we are able to see the kind of detail that we see. If you go deeper, I don't think you are going to have that kind of resolution. So we are not limited by the solution. And that is why we're able to measure. If you see the table I presented to you, we actually take measurements at almost every 1 kilometer or thereabouts. And our transect is about 45 kilometers long. So we're able to take the thickness of the external levee, the thickness of the channel itself, the complex, the depth, the width of the unitary channel within the channel complex. So I believe that's about the best in terms of resolution you will get, and that is what inform our ability to. And it's not only in this case, we look at more than 14 channel complex and lobes across Niger Delta. And in some instances, you can almost point even to the lithology of what you see inside the channel in some instances. So the resolution was not a limitation to what we did. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question, please? Okay, there's a hand up there. After him.
Thank you, Dr. Busari, for the very detailed and clear presentation. Just a question, I think, maybe to piggyback on what the other speaker mentioned. So now we're looking more at the shallow objects. So how do you account for compaction effects if you were to use the shallow objects as analog for the deeper objects? Is there a way you sort of account for that? Because I see you have you done some detailed measurements. It's using the shallow objects. So if you have to translate that for the deeper objects, what sort of ratio are we looking at in terms of compaction effects that would help us use this data for our reservoir modeling and, of course, development? So thank you.
We know that, of course, as you go deeper, you get buried, but your burial will largely affect your porosity. It's not likely to change the width of your channel. It's not likely to change the dimension of a channel. You can have your channel, denatured by structuration, but in terms of the dimension itself, you're not likely to change so much. So if you have a situation whereby in your seismic, you cannot see anything to measure, and you have measurements from the near surface channel, of course, you can build uncertainty around your dimension, but it's much, much better than walking blind without seeing anything. And I don't think the major architectural elements are going to change so much in terms of their dimension. Most of the changing will be in terms of your porosity, maybe a bit of permeability, but in terms of the dimensions, they are not likely to change so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mumini, for a very great presentation. So my question is really about, I know the area you worked on is shallow offshore, predominantly on the shelf. And we know, yeah, or further, maybe from the shelf to the upper slope, that environment. But we know that in the Pleistocene to Pliocene, time in that area, we had episodes of collapse of aspects of the shelf, So I want to know the impact of that on channel development, in the area you studied. Maybe you saw the impact of this widespread erosion and how it impacted the work that you did in that area.
Okay, the work we did is actually in deep water, not in shallow water. In fact, some people here can more or less pinpoint where the so it's really in deep water. So we didn't look at shallow. Maybe in future we'll look at subject from shallow water. Maybe can talk around what happened around BK and all this, but we haven't done that yet. Thank you
very much. Any other
Thank you.
question?
Yes.
Can we check online if we have some? Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Busari. My name is Olarewaju. I'm an independent. My questions borders on abnormal pressure. From your studies, from some of those seismic studies and channels, have you seen any indication of abnormal pressure? And if there are, what precisely should we be looking at? Because I think that's very important when we're developing some of these fields. Just wondering. Thank you.
I didn't get that question.
Sorry?
High pressure.
Yeah, have you seen any indication from seismic, from some of those studies, any indication of abnormal pressure signature on your seismic, some kind of signature?
Okay. Of course, because we are very shallow,
yeah,
we are not likely affected by pressure. But what we see, which is not in this presentation, but by the way, our paper is about to be published on this subject by SEG. And when you see the full paper, you see more. We actually, as you can see from, we identify pock marks around our channel of interest. And these pock marks are indication that we have fluid coming from underneath, which for us is indication that we have probably active petroleum system deep down there. So that is what we see as indication of what is happening deeper down. So we have pock marks all around the channel of interest.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Insightful. I wanted to ask a question. My name is Pauline Ali from YIP. I have two questions, but it's like you just answered one now. Which portion of the channel system represents the highest value drilling targets? Which part of the channel should we target when we want to drill? Usually we go to the middle. And my next question is, what possible geohazards can be associated with our channels? Are there other geohazards? You've talked about pork now. Do we have other geohazards we could expect from our channels? Thank you.
Yeah, from what we've seen and from what we know that when we're in onshore, our killing factor is seal. But when we're in deep water, our killing factor is reservoir. And when we are looking for reservoir, we go for the sweet spot. And in this case, our lateral action package seems to be of the best in terms of reservoir property. So if we are chasing anything, we go for the good quality reservoir, which is our labs. And in terms of hazards, apart from the pockmark, which as I said, indicates a fluid escape, which most drillers will avoid as much as possible. Another hazard that we usually see in deepwater environment is shallow gas, which we have to avoid, and of course, that is done normally as part of the geohazard study where you want to. So you have to look for shallow gas, and of course, the pockmarks. Those are major hazards that people encounter. Maybe my colleagues here who are more knowledgeable in this area can add more, but those are the ones I can recollect here now.
Thank you. I didn't know that my running mate, Pauline, was going to ask a question. My question is on, I'm kind of like thinking that you went on to do some drilling after these studies, and to say how did the results from the drilling tie with the studies? Were there learnings, and what kind of learnings and how you're applying those? Thank you.
Okay, if you look at when I began, maybe you are not here there, sir. I said this was one of the products of a PhD research project, actually. So it was more of academic work, but done with the insight of working in oil and gas industry. And our intent of looking at near surface subsea deposits is to get the kind of information that we can leverage when we go deeper, where the image is not as clear as what we have. So we are not drilling well, but the people who are going to drill well, where the quality of their data is not so good, where they cannot properly delineate these AEs, they can leverage on information coming from us to better model their reservoir and better plan their development strategies.
Very much. I think someone hands up. That should be okay. Ifeanyi Obi.
All right, thank you very much, Doc, for your presentation. My name is Ifeanyi Obi. I work for Seplat Energy. Two things. First of all, I like your response regarding the genetics of the dimensions of the channels, whether shallow or deep. I like that message because the key thing is whether you're shallow or deep, the width, the thickness, the ratios have some genetic relationship. So it doesn't matter if you're looking at near surface or ultra deep or so. The one question I had was, I think I heard you mention 9 meters when someone here asked a question about the resolution of your data, right? How you're able to map is it the levee or the axis of it? I think you had mentioned 9 meters if I heard correctly. Yeah. I'm sort of curious to know what frequency of data that you used, if that was what you said. So okay, I think for the main data, which is the 3D high quality data, I said the resolution is about 9 meters, and the dominant frequency I think is about 52 Hz. While for the semi-regional data, the resolution is about 12 meters. I think the dominant frequency is around 45 meters or thereabouts, like Hz or thereabouts. So, of course, we quality control our data, and we are certain of these parameters. When our paper is out, I'm sure you're going to get more detail in terms of other parameters that we present more details in the paper than what you can share in 30 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. Do we have some questions online? Yes.
But we can take just one more question in the room
before. Okay, one more question. Whose hand was up?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So the first question that I had was based off on the deep waters for the Niger Delta, which you've already answered. But then I was, let's say, somewhat confused at first. I want to ask a question based off on another aspect. Now, the findings of your study, how is it going to solve the problem of uncertainty during the field development planning?
Okay, the message is that first thing, you need to ensure that you delineate your AE as detailed as possible. I mean, the more detailed your delineation is, the more representative your model is likely to be. Even if you have, from our understanding of the geology, if you have some possible heterogeneities that you cannot map statistically, that can be done during dynamic simulation. The most important thing is that you want your model to be as representative of the internal complexity of your subject as possible. And that is the only way you can be certain that you can come up with an optimal development strategy.
Thank you very much. We can take the online questions, if any.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the first question, thanks for participating, those of us here and online. The first question I have is from Professor Edet. His question is, I am interested in reservoir connectivity. How does channel evolution influence reservoir connectivity within the field?
Okay, we know that in our channel complex, one channel is active at a time. At the beginning of the channel complex life, because of the abundance of space, our channels are migrating laterally, and our channel is more often than not eroding the internal levee of the previous channel. So we have stack of sand, which we call our lateral action package. Why? As we go shallower, we start to see a situation whereby you have more and more of internal levee, and at some point, you have the influence of external levee that constrain our channel stacking. And of course, as I said at the beginning of my presentation, the complexity of this channel complex are controlled by certain factors. The sea level change is one of them. The type of sediment at the stage area at your shelf edge, and the rate of sending this sediment into the basin also play an impact. For instance, towards the end of the life of this channel in question is turbidite mud. So we already know that there is no subject. So the evolutionary history of the channel, understanding that, it helps you to know where your channels, where your sand are stacked, and where there are interchannel shales that can hinder flow of your fluid during development. And that is what we said. It's not only drawing it, it's understanding the evolution. But there are some things that you cannot represent even your model. But when you understand the evolution, you can tell your RE colleague, okay, no, we know there could be some intershale which we cannot model. You see, explicitly, you cannot, but you can represent them using maybe some multipliers, transmissivity, and all those things. So it is understanding the evolution of your channel that help you, that puts you in position to be able to do that in terms of optimally developing your reservoir.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Second question is from Ebenezer Bamiboye. His question is, could you give an emphatic difference between the lithology stack and the near surface channel with the deep channels, and what could be the reason if there are any?
The channels that are near surface, that are deeply buried today, they were near surface at some point. So what matters is what happened. Like today, our subject of interest, the story is more or less close with the hemipelagic drape. All that will happen to this channel is in future, it will be buried. So most of the internal complexity organization is already set. So the difference, whether you are shallow or you are buried, what happened is the history when you are being formed. Once you are formed, it is that same structure that is being taken, as I said, of course, because you have been buried, some parameters will change, and because you have been buried, there could be some structuration that will denature the shape, but essentially the architectural element within the channel remains what they have. So there is no change between whether you are near surface or you are deeply buried. It's the same channel. What matters is that, okay, what I'm looking in the near surface that I've taken measurement, is it the same thing I'm looking at depth, and can I use this as my analog? That is what's important.
Okay, thank you. Next question is from Dr. Efetobori. This question is, given the observed evolution of the channel-levee complex, how does the temporal and spatial variability of channel architecture influence reservoir connectivity, sweep efficiency, and the prediction of remaining hydrocarbon volumes during field development?
Okay. My brother here is going to answer that because.
All right. Let me help out a bit there. So, because I see the question is bordering around development and how connectivity from one end to the other. So that question that was asked is linked to one of the questions that was also being asked there, which is about how do you connect? And I think one of our fellow also asked it here about how do you connect from one point to the other. So the major difference, the major challenge there is those shale drapes that form barriers from one of those single channel fairway to the other. So the moment you are able to know which part of the channel, which region of the channel you are in its evolution, you're able to anticipate whether you have a lot of them or you have fewer of them there. So if you are placing wells, if you are in a place where you don't expect a lot of them, then you know that the kind of wells you're going to drill, okay, it's not going to be simpler. But if you're going to cross across multiple drapes, multiple shale drapes, then you know that you're going horizontal, and then you have to cross multiple of those parts in case when you inject, it doesn't go directly to your producer. So your injector and producer, you position them in a way to be able to limit the case of disconnection. So it's the question as well of what is shallow and what is below. I think someone here picked it up. The ratio remains the same. What was likely going to change as you're deeply buried is that once the fluid goes out, some of the porosity might change. Okay, the porosity content might change, which changes, some of the properties, petrophysical properties there. But generally, the morphology, which was the scope of his work, actually doesn't change. Your channel width remains the same. Your properties, your porosity the major changes you have between the shallow and the deeper part.
Thanks so much. Great response. Yeah, so this is going to be the last question, unfortunately, that we can take. I'll hand over to the PE now to continue.
Yeah, thanks, PS. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Please keep the applause coming for him. Mr. Mumini has done wonderfully well for us today. Thank you very much, sir. We sincerely appreciate. So we have also fellows online that I didn't mention their name, so I want to recognize them. Mr. Kazim Kolosho is also online. And then, yeah, please, a round of applause for him. And then Professor Sonny Wajide, that is Professor Sunday Wajide, is also online. Thank you very much. So we are going to take a vote of thanks and or sponsors' remarks. Let me call it that way, not really vote of thanks. Sponsors' remarks from the sponsors of this program today, which is Total Energies. So I'll call on the GM Geoscience for Total to give us the sponsors' remarks, and thereafter it will be presentation of gifts to the speaker and the chairman. So, Mr. Adeoye, please. In fact, while he's coming up, I need to say something. Mr. Adeoye has been wonderful. The communication, the ease of doing things and all that. Please, let's clap for Mr. Adeoye for all he did. The conversation we had, emails and all that was perfect. Thank you, Mr. Adeoye.
Thank you, PE. Yes, so my name is Adeoye Adeyemi. So I'm praying to be GM one day. So I'm still Deputy General Manager of Corporate Geosciences. But thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I really appreciate the PE. I want to just say that I really appreciate the president of FNAPE, Mrs. Olajumoke Cecilia Ajayi, FNAPE. The president-elect, Dr. Antonio Foma, the distinguished fellows of FNAPE that are here present, really appreciate you. The past presidents and members of the council, the chairman of today's session, and of course, our esteemed Dr. Busari, thank you for a wonderful presentation. So it's a privilege for me to stand here on behalf of Total Energies as DGM Corporate Geosciences to represent the company as a proud sponsor of this technical meeting. So I would commend FNAPE and all its officials for consistently providing a strong technical platform to share knowledge within the technical community. Total and FNAPE, we go a long way. Through our legacy company, ELF, we have been associated supporting FNAPE right from the early years, and over the decades, our relationship has been strong and going stronger. We are proud of a lot of staff that have worked for Total Energies and also been participating exceptionally well at FNAPE. My Oga is also here, Mr. Chris Enuma, and many other people. So really, we appreciate the good work that has been done. So as you have seen, the presentation of today's topic is very relevant, and it's very important, impactful when doing reservoir modeling and trying to delineate your fields for field development. If you want to know a bit more about Total, Total is a multi-energy company. We continue to invest in Deepwater in Nigeria, as you know. We are also investing in gas development. Total is also very strong on digital and as well as energy transition initiatives. So our objective is to deliver energy more reliable, more efficient, and of course, with lower carbon intensity. We also, in Total, we are interested in people and capacity building. We try to invest in early career development, a lot of technical training, and as well, we are going to be part of the FNAPE NICE conference in November. So yeah, it's just to bring the word from Total Energies that we are very proud and we're happy to continue to associate with FNAPE. I really thank the exceptional leadership of FNAPE as well. And on that note, I want to say thank you again for an exceptional presentation. And thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adoye. I'll keep saying it. GM. Claim it. All right, thank you. So we'll go to the next item, which is presentation of this. Madam President, please. Is that for the okay.
So I want to specially thank Total again, and our presenter, thank you very much. I believe you are a lecturer. And I want to let you know that we are starting FNAPE Academy very soon. The FNAPE Academy launching will happen in the next 5 weeks. The industry will be invited. We will sit down and work out how it works, because we are modeling it after the Shell Intensive Training Program. We want it to be the hub where the industry will go to every year to recruit people they want for their companies. And we need people like you, because you make that presentation so simple. You're a born teacher, and we want someone like you in that academy. Thank you very much. And Total, thank you very much for your support all the time. God bless you.
Call it out. So once this is out of the way, then pictures, please. PS, please announce the way it's going to be.
So let's have the president, speaker, chairman, and sponsor on stage, please. Yes. We are doing only 2 pictures, so hold on to me. So let's take this first. Yeah. The next set, we are our escorts. So please escort the ready.
Executive committee members present, please. Next.
Aside from the registration, we have still open opportunities for sponsorship. So put your name in the mark for FNAPE as usual. Come up strong and support sponsorship into the different categories as is shown there. Okay, so this is just showing us how the registration app looks for you to register. The deadline for early bird registration, I forgot to mention, is the 1st of September. So take advantage and save some cash for yourself. Summer school registration has just opened. The deadline for that is going to be 31st of July. Look out for information on our website, our social media handles, as well as email. So yeah, summer school registration is ongoing right now. Fundraising. We really want to thank those who have been supportive of this process. Like we know, we are trying to purchase a permanent FNAPE secretariat building that is befitting for this association that is over 50 years. And so we have had contributions from individuals, from corporate bodies. We want to say a big thank you to that, but we are not done yet, so we want you all to please, please, please still see how you can be part of this landmark that we are trying to leave behind for FNAPE. The account details is as flagged there, but you can get more details by contacting the secretariat and the vice presidents whose names are listed there. Okay, external engagement. Our president will be participating at the upcoming energy conference. Yeah, so she will be a panel speaker on the 6th of July between 3 to 3:50. So if you are there, please come in and support her. And then, yeah, so that's what I would like to say on that bit. But we would share further details after her engagement. But please, if you're in Abuja and if you can attend this session, that would be good. Thank you. Yeah, our team president will speak some more on this, but we are privileged to have amongst us some of our members who received distinguished awards during the AAPG awards, honors and awards that is ongoing. You talk. It's all. Oh, okay. So that's it. Dues, please pay up.
Okay, give me that slide on. Okay, so we all know that everything about FNAPE does not reside in Nigeria alone. We are an international association, and we also were affiliated to some other geoscience association. One of them is AAPG. Many of our members who are active in FNAPE are also active at that level, AAPG. And you can only be given an award if you are very, very active. So we have 3 of our members who have done us proud. They did us proud to the point that they are given an award. So as you can see on the screen, we have Dr. Ifeanyi Obi given the Distinguished Service Award. Where is he? Come out. I know you are here today. Let everyone see you. You are making us proud. You are not only an AAPG member, you are a FNAPE member, and you've gone outside the shore of Nigeria to make us proud. We appreciate you. We also have Dr. Pristine Dim, Groover E. Murray Distinguished Educator Award. Thank you very much. You see, I'm not surprised. You've done a lot here, and you've showcased the type of person you are, even outside Nigeria. we have Deborah Oyebisi. The award given to her is YP Exemplary Service Award. She is not here in the country. So congratulations and thank you for making us proud.
Thank you very much. You guys rock, eh? Continue to make us proud. You don't, eh? Okay. All right. So I just want to touch more on this upcoming summer school. You know, the topic is co-opting AI, ML to existing oil and gas upstream digital ecosystems. The case for exploration, drilling, and production. I don't want to emphasize this so much because this is the in thing in the industry now. AI, AI, AI. That is the song every company is singing today. And how they can apply it to some of our tools, the tools we use in exploration, the tools we use in drilling, the tools we use in production, and then work efficiently, minimize time, but give the good result. So I'm appealing for those who wish to attend, please let us pay up. For companies that can sponsor 1 or 2 students to attend, because I mean, the prices are not the same. I think the highest price is 450 students. I think it's 150 or thereabout. So, but you see the flyers and all that. I encourage us, the senior FNAPE members here, sponsor 1 student, sponsor somebody. It could mean a lot to them because by the time they are done from school and come out to compete with their peers, at least they will have an idea of what these things are. These things are AI. That is the song across the industry today, be it the OEMs or the operators and the rest. AI is what they are looking at. In fact, before I left the office this morning, there was a mail from the CEO of my company mandating everybody to start, learning and studying things on AI because that is where the company is going. Those who are not compliant might fall by the wayside. So please appeal to companies here present, individuals that are well-to-do, to please sponsor somebody for this program. Thank you very much. So we are going to celebrate 2 persons today. These are very distinguished persons in FNAPE. They are former presidents. They've served this association meritoriously well, and it's good to, talk about them. The first person is going to be Pastor Ndefo. I will call on I keep on calling him GM. I'll call on the GM to come. After that, the president will come to talk on our 002. And I will now give my vote of thanks. Come over, sir. So, no, project Pandefo's picture, please, or slide. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here again, standing on existing protocols. We want to take a moment to celebrate Pastor Daniel Ndefo. So some of us are still active in our career, but we are standing on the shoulder of giants, people who have gone ahead of us. So Pa Ndefo, as you can see on the slide here, he turned 80, I think, recently. He's had a stellar career. He had a stellar career in Total Energies. Started as a well-site geologist and eventually became a general manager of exploration and geosciences. So that was really good. Then also beyond the company, he was as well chairman of OPTS. And then he was also company ambassador for a lot of local and global geoscience communities. But very relevant to our gathering here, Pa Ndefo was also very active in FNAPE. It was from 1985, maybe many of us were not born here. But from 1985, he was president-elect. He became president. He was immediate past president, and currently he's a fellow emeritus. So he's a model of humility, hard work, and we see him as a good example for many of us to follow. So please, I would like you to just rise up and give a round of applause to Pa Indefo. We celebrate you, sir. We honor you. Thank you for your meritorious service to the community and to FNAPE. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adeoye. Please, Madam President, for our 002, who is here with us, strong and healthy. He was a one-time president of this association and has been attending all programs and activities of this association. Madam President.
Thank you very much. You know, if some people had not taken, you can sit down, sir. If anybody should stand up, it should be all of us. So I will still tell everyone to stand up. We are celebrating you, just sit comfortably. So some people came together in August of 1975 and decided to start an association of geoscientists. And Chief Oyibo is one of them. It was one of them. It was the second president of this association. And I must say that he actually completed the tenure of the first president, because the first president got a scholarship to go abroad for his PhD. So he started his own tenure maybe 6 months after the association was formed. And this association has grown to this level, and there's no events of FNAPE that I have attended that I've not seen Chief Oyibo. He gets there even before many of us. So I'm sure you believe it is important we celebrate him today in our own little way. Sir, it might just be in this forum, but all we are saying is to show you that we appreciate you for what you have done for us. And when he clocked 80, unfortunately, it was during the COVID period. So no celebration per se. But here today, this is your professional association. We believe it is appropriate to do what we are doing. It's small, but no, it is a sincere one from the mind of every one of us. His birthday was on June 15th. Yes, and we decided to do this today. So today, we proudly celebrate you, sir, as you mark your 85th birthday anniversary in this month of June. So on behalf of the entire ESCOs and the entire member of this great association, FNAPE, that you formed, we say that you've been an extraordinary mentor, leader, and source of inspiration to us all. As one of the founding fathers of this association, your contributions have been invaluable and enduring. Beyond helping us to establish this great association, you have continued to guide us in all that we do, and your commitment, your active participation in our programs, and your willingness to accept and diligently carry out assignments that these small people like us give to you. We call on him to chair BOT, our board of trustees. He willingly accepted and he discharged his duty very well. He didn't look at us as these small ones, why are they giving me responsibility? But he discharged it very well. Apart from the fact that he has been members of AC, different things. I can't stand here to count so many things he has done for us, activities, different ESCOs have given it to him to handle, which he has done exceptionally well. So we thank you for your selfless service to the association. And our prayer is that you live long. You are looking 40, you don't look 85. And you'll continue to look so. We'll be here to celebrate 100 years in good health with you. And we thank you, we appreciate you. And all we can say is, thank you, sir. Let's stand up and give him a standing ovation. And continue to clap. Just clap and appreciate him. Thank you for making us proud. Thank you for giving us a platform that we can call our own. We celebrate you, sir. Day to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Never understood. Yes. How many died for good? Not have a day that would. Come on, sir. Aside for recognition, because it's never cannot be. Let's bring the clearest peace. At the naked dream, hallelujah, and we all know everything. Now come, sir. Now come and continue to dancing here. It's my happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Thank you, everyone. You can have your seat. Thank you very much, sir. We come here every day, we network, we do all that with technical sessions, we hear things freely, conferences, technical papers, just because of the vision you had with other members. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The music should. It's about the music. You know the way through.
Madam President, PE, all the executive, friends of FNAPE, thank you very much. I feel honored. It's like mustard seed. We did not know what we were planting. There were only 10 of us when we started. And as I said during our 50th anniversary, that when we started, I was the oldest in that room. At 33, I was the oldest. So by the time we had the first conference, I was 34. We had Ako Terry as our president. He was much younger. But everybody there was 30 or below, except myself. I was the big boy among them. And then Ako left after 6 months or so. He went to do his PhD in Imperial College. So I finished his tenure and then I became the second president. So I became like 1.5 presidents. So it's not for a long speech, but I come here because I'm happy to be among the young people. I find that many times when I come, I'm about the oldest person, but it doesn't bother me. As long as my legs are strong and my intellect is still there, I want to learn. You can imagine when we started, we were doing 2D and all those things to interpret. Now people are going to AI. Many times I don't even know how to, even when it says scan my phone, I said, take and phone scan for me. But I'm happy. We started meetings. We couldn't even meet during office hours. Nobody, our bosses couldn't give us permission. So we used to meet after office hours, mostly in a mobile office. A mobile office was everything. It was around the Tinubu Square. If you go around that side now, you will cry. You see people selling on the road. That was the commercial center of Lagos and of Nigeria. Golf was there. Central Bank was there. I was working in Texaco, which was in Western House. So I don't want to take too much of your time, but we got this in together. Weekends, we used to have executive meetings in my house in Surulere, because that's the only time you can. If I'm not offshore on the rig, we'll meet in my house. I'm happy to be with you. And as long as God gives me strength, life and strength, I'll be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. There was a presidential directive, and I have to say it. He was also a former GMD NMPC. Please. So we are at the final end of, or tail end of our program, and which is a vote of thanks. Before I do the vote of thanks, in case I forget, we're also going to have another technical session next month, July, from another international company, from another IOC, and it's going to be Shell. Shell will be presenting next July. So let's watch out for it. It's also going to be explosive like what Total Energies have done. Also attend next month. Has always been there for us. Thank you very much for this. Thank you. And on this note, I want to say thank you to everybody that has attended, our students, our members, our fellows, and everybody here, guests. Thank you for attending and have a nice day today. Before we leave, lunch is served. Our sponsors and fellows will use this serving point. Please, this serving point. That is where our fellows and sponsors would go. And then the rest will use this other serving point and the one on my right. Thank you very much and have a blessed day ahead. DJ, Tunde. Executive committee also to join sponsors here, please. ESCO to join sponsors here, please. Tunde, please, soft music. Over.